One, two, three,
One,
four,
two.
five.
Testing. One, two.
Testing.
This is the
1, 2,
Live
3,
Shop
4, 5.
Play and Pray with Pastor Jay.
Live, shop, and pay.
I should call it
Pray.
the Live Shop Play and Pray.
Pray.
Or just the Live Shop Pray. Take the play out.
With Pastor Jay.
Oh, that's what I'm going to do. It's working great. It's working pretty good. Yep, it's working
that's
pretty
too
good.
funny.
That's what I'm going to call it, the Live Shop Pray.
We're
'Cause
good.
He's the Live Shop Play. We're the Live Shop Pray.
There you
I
go.
can't wait till we get live
Testing.
on the air.
1, 2. Testing.
I'm gonna
Testing.
do
Test.
that.
Can I hear? Can I hear? Mark? Oh, it's not you. It's me. Testing. Testing. Here we go. Now I've got my voice in my head.
Uh-oh.
All right. Mark, you ready? All right. We're going to record this week's show of Live Workshop Play, and this is going to air actually the beginning of August. It's going to air, and it's going to air in St. Duval.
Beginning of August?
We're getting close.
2 weeks from now.
Yes,
Yeah,
2
it's
weeks.
not going to air Sunday?
No, it won't air this
Okay.
Sunday unless it needs to. I can
I don't
move
know.
things
You
around.
can decide.
But I think we're going to air it in August. August is
Whatever
when
you
it
wanna
really
do.
hits. So we're going to air it the first weekend in August.
Okay.
So we will go ahead and start with Live Workshop Play. This is a this weekend show. It's going to air in Duval. It's going to air in St. Augustine, St. Johns County, Putnam, Baker, Clay, Volusia, Flagler, Seminole, and Orange County. So we're getting ready to go with it. So we'll start with it now, and it's about some election stuff. So we're going to have a good show here. All right, y'all ready? Hello, Florida. This is Joe Mullins of the Live Workshop Play Show, and this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. on WNZF, 330 WBOB Jacksonville, and Sunday 6:30 a.m. on Beach 105.5. We're going to talk about this election season, school boards, silly things going on. We're really going to get down into the dirt of the dirtiest job in the world, being a politician or running for an elected office. This Saturday, 9:30 a.m., Live Workshop Play Florida. Have a great weekend.
Okay. He calls it the Live Workshop and Play. I'm calling it the Live Worship Shop and Pray. I have nothing else to do. We go to, hey guys, put in there. He's so hyper today. That's every day. Oh, he's trying to sing.
You were always on my mind. I want to make sure Ed's in there. Guys, we're doing a little technical stuff, making sure we're good.
Just
All right, guys,
so
you
you
ready?
know, what you probably should have done is rotate it
You
and
were
let it kept up
always
first, because
on
now it's going to be
my
the different way for everyone else that's watching it.
Do it long ways?
No, see, before you go live, you have to make sure the camera shows them going like this, because right now people are having to do
Well,
like
let's
that.
stop
Did
it
you
and
know
fix
that?
it. Well, let's fix it. She's going to teach me how to use Facebook, guys. Obviously, I have never done it before.
I'm the one, the cause of his Facebook Live, for those who didn't know. He came on my show one time.
You
He's
were
like, "What's
always
this?"
on my mind.
Okay, so the problem is, do you have rotation on your phone?
Oh,
You don't have rotation on it.
well,
Let's see. If this,
we need to get a 12-year-old in here, and they can figure it out and show us.
do you, is this, okay.
Always on my
This
mind.
is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go like this, live, right? Then we're gonna turn it like this, but to rotate. Your phone's not rotating, Joe.
Why isn't it rotating?
Let me see. Nope,
Is the rotation shut off? It's an iPhone?
I don't know. I have to go in his settings.
Here, let me show you how to do it. I know how to do that.
You know how to do that?
Get out of here. Go down to
Yeah,
here.
swipe down.
and
You
what
should
do
have the
Is
rotation
that
there.
it?
No, that's not it, is it?
Yeah,
Okay, let's see
yeah,
if that's it.
There you go.
That's what you need.
That's what you got to do.
That's
Perfect. Now I know what I'm doing wrong. All right, you got me and Ed in there, and we're going to go live.
I wonder why your camera's small, though.
I don't know. That's Ed's camera. Mine isn't small. Ed, you have a tiny camera.
I have a tiny
Oh,
camera.
now
I have a
it's-
tiny camera.
How would you know that?
Because a trooper told me.
Oh, you started. Is that good?
All right, you ready, Mark? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it. Hello, Florida. This is Joe Mullins of the Live Workshop Play Show, and what a crazy summer it's been so far. And good morning, and welcome to the show. Good morning, Flagler, Volusia, St. Augustine, St. Johns County. Good afternoon, Duval. We're going to air here at 3:30. We air on BOB, and then good morning, St. John's on Sunday at 6:30 a.m. We air. So we're just all over the place. But you know what? Right now it's good morning or good afternoon, and we live in the greatest area in the greatest state, the freest state in the country. And I've got some very special guests today. I have got Pastor Jay of the Pastor Jay Show.
Today with Pastor Jay.
Today with Pastor Jay. And it airs when?
It's Sunday morning at 8 a.m.
On WNZF.
WNZF 90.9.
Yeah, so you can also
Or you can go to my
podcast.
website, todaywithpastorjay.com, and click the podcast.
You can go to the podcast.
But I'm taking over your show today.
That's fine.
It's called the Live, Worship, Shop, and Pray Show.
There you go. There you go. And then we've got Ed Danko, the city councilman from Palm Coast. Ed, y'all have had some adventure. Y'all have had some adventure.
I do have a video podcast.
Yeah,
You
he's
do
got the
have a video
podcast.
podcast.
Tell us how to get that and see.
Well, that airs every other Thursday. We record it, and then it goes out Friday morning, and you can see it right on my Facebook page. You can go to flagler4trump.com. You can see it on our website.
I encourage you all and all over the county to listen to this. Now, today's show, we're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about the importance of races, how nasty they can be, some of the nasty things that have occurred and done. Of course, you see my shirt, defund the media. I'm ready to totally defund them. I seem to make the media, anything I do, I can do wrong, they make front page. But anything I do right, it never gets talked about. And that's a crazy thing that media does. They want to run the bad stuff, but they don't want to talk about all the incredible things that have happened in the community. And I realize one thing. I can't be perfect and I can't have a flaw and be a Republican. So maybe I should have considered becoming a Democrat, because then I could have gone out and smoked crack, and I could have, do all these things wrong, get a DUI, and never make front page of the paper. But yet a Republican who does something, just makes one mistake, which, I make plenty of them. I'm not perfect. Makes front page of the paper. Do you notice that happens? That's just, it's like they never mention their policy. Trump made the front page of the paper all the time because and I had a lady actually at a debate this past week, yesterday, but a few weeks ago when the show airs, she walked up to a guy and he said, "Let's go Brandon" on his shirt. And she said, "That's the most offensive thing I've ever seen." And I said, "Ma'am, he has a right to wear that." She goes, "Well, he's in your campaign." I said, "No, he's not. He's a citizen that came in that supports me." And she goes, I said, I support Trump." And she said, "Yes, I do know that." And she goes, "I'm sick to my stomach. At least our president now isn't mean." I said, "Yeah, but have you paid for gas lately?
Yeah, that's
Have
mean.
you seen your economy?"
That's mean.
I said, "My family's struggling because of this." So, we're so focused on personality and not policy.
They forget policy, and
It's crazy.
they focus so much on, especially you, because you have a bigger, larger than life personality, Joe. And oftentimes I get asked, how is it that you do this with Joe Mullins? And I said, do what? Because you are one of the most giving, loving people that I know. And I say that. And I know that because I've experienced it. Recently with my daughter passing and her death, being so young, I'll get text messages from him. He just go, "I love you." I got one the other day. "You call me beautiful." I was like, "Oh, sucky now." But I needed that because I've been jacked up. But
I
you
always
are
say
one
"Good
of the,
morning, beautiful" because
You
my
always
mom,
do.
my mom taught me.
Yes.
I used to send her that text every morning, "Good morning, beautiful," and I'd send her a picture wherever I was. And I didn't do it one morning, and she called me up and she said, "You know what? That may not be a lot to you, but it means everything in the start of my day." Wow. She goes, "Don't miss another day."
Yeah,
and
you've cried with me. You are just, I was talking to someone, one of your constituents out in your area, in your district, just the other day, and they were just talking about how amazing you are and all the things you have done within their area that doesn't make the front page of the front news.
Well,
but
we
of
got
course,
a major hospital
I got to
coming.
talk about your speeding ticket because I'm not like everybody else. I'm just going to talk about it. That's just how it is. Because Pastor Jay, I talk to you about anything. But Joe, I have a daughter. I can't tell you which one it is, but she got like 6 to 8 speeding tickets in 1 year, and she hasn't made the front page of anything other than the court docket.
Yeah, but when I was driving. It's very obvious. I drive a Ferrari. I'm a sports and entertainment agent, and the Ferrari's part of that image. It's part of that work.
You get somewhere real fast.
Well, sometimes I run tight on the schedule and I don't pay attention
Because you have 1,000 things on your schedule.
When you see a Ferrari, what do you think one of the most asked questions is?
How fast does it go?
No, how fast? Well, actually, that's probably true. But what do you think? Another question: what do you do for a living?
Oh,
they ask you. They want to know what you do for a living. So, I was asked, and I was very honest. I said I'm a sports and entertainment agent, and I'm a commissioner, and I'm part of who runs accounting.
Now, if you see me driving a Ferrari, and you ask, what do you do for a living? I'm gonna have to be honest and say I'm a car thief.
Okay. At least
I
they
just
will
wanted
ask
him to know
you.
I wasn't a drug dealer.
Look, and they will ask you if they saw me driving a Ferrari, they would think I was a thief or a drug dealer or something along those lines.
That's what I wanted to make sure. The way he walks up, when I get scared, I was ready to. I was just like, I'm not a drug dealer.
Well, herein lies.
I've watched Miami Vice.
People don't know this. You get a lot of tickets. I'm going to tell you. I know he does. If you have never ridden in a car with Joe Mullins, be thankful to God that you have never ridden a car with Joe Mullins. I was in, I don't know which car it was. It probably was a Ferrari. We was coming from Orlando.
It wasn't a Ferrari.
What was it? It was a sports car. Lamborghini.
No.
It was something. Corvette.
No.
It was something. It was something.
A Yugo.
It was not. It was this low to the ground sports car that had me praying to God, please get me home. Because you were whipping in and out of traffic. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm going, you weren't speeding though. Well, you were just.
When you're in those cars, they're high performance and they feel a certain way.
That's why I don't like them.
Sometimes you don't even realize you do go a little over the speed limit. You don't realize, and most of the time I have a driver. I honestly, I'll admit, I have a driver
that car,
because
everything you do in it, you feel. Is my point.
That's
not like a regular driving car.
And everybody wants to talk about it, and that's why I just don't drive it that much. But you do have, you feel it, and you. I normally have a driver.
You need a driver.
You know why I stopped using a driver not long ago. There was a terrible accident. My son was in the car. The driver was driving him. I was nowhere around. And I said, you know what? I'm just scared to death of something happening to him. So I said, I'm going to get one, but I got to be very careful. So we're working on that.
Yeah.
And, we will. But
I need a driver.
Yeah. So let's talk about something important. Let's talk about the important. This is election season.
Right.
It's very important we get into this.
How do you manage? Because you get dumped on all the time, whether it's election season or not. I mean, the pressure and the stress, the negativity. How do you manage that? Because we're starting to see a lot of negativity, and you have been so gracious. Like,
it's political. It's election time, so they're going to be that way. The blogger, the liberal blogger that we have locally, loves to spin a story. He never tells the truth. The guy's got such a bad past. He literally changed his name. At least my past isn't so bad I got to change my name. I'm working on it, but, it hadn't happened. But, Ed, you've seen a version of it. You've experienced it.
And at first I want to say, Joe, is keep doing things like you're doing because you keep me out of the paper.
Yeah.
Because you're his favorite target. I may be number 2, but
I'll stand
you're
up
number
to
1.
Him. But I stand up to him, and I push back on him, and that makes him mad because he wants to be the bully that has nobody reply.
I must confess, I do everything I possibly can not to read his stuff, so I'm out of the loop. I don't, get in.
It's called Flagler.
So
It's called Flagler Lies, and his name is Pierre Hadid Tristan, but his real name is Hadid.
He is. I just try not to.
He is a Middle Eastern that moved here to take over the county. That's what he said. So he can say he can take over the county.
I can tell you this. Jill Woolbright, who's running for Flagler County Schools, she had been, tossed around in that, whatever you want to call it, blog or whatever. It's not a paper. And I told her, and I'm going to tell you guys the same thing. I said, your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Why do you care what that demon write about you?
Yeah, it's really true.
Let's just be real.
But here's the big
who
thing.
Cares?
I had an event and I talked to people, and they're not concerned about all this silly media stuff. What they're concerned about is their economy,
policy.
their future, the price of gas, the price of things. So we've got some important elections coming up. We're seeing craziness like we've never seen it before. Signs are defaced. Signs are painted on.
Hold on. Speaking of signs being defaced and stuff, did you know that someone witnessed Lance Allred picking up one of your signs and throwing it in the thing? I have pictures.
No way.
I am serious. You didn't you have Lance on your show?
Yeah, Lance was on the show.
He someone
I'm not running
witnessed
against him, though. Why would he even want
Wait
to
a
touch
minute.
one of my
He-
sons? That's the
That makes no
silliest thing.
sense.
I should have called. I should have
That's the
said.
silliest
Look,
thing.
he picked up your sign and replaced it with his sign, and threw your sign in the woods.
So basically, he said, we don't want low taxes and government in our control. We want what he brings. 'Cause he
No,
obviously brings
basically
the
what he
opposite.
said is, I do what I want. And even though I know it's illegal to touch someone else's property,
Well,
I'm going to do what I
you
want.
got
That's what I
people
got
like
out of
Dennis McDonald, who's ran for every office known to man, and this clown, he runs around, talks about all these conspiracies. He's a slip and fall guru that goes into shopping centers. But Dennis McDonald,
okay.
and he's now got signs up in places. Actually, he has signs
Listen,
on places.
I like Dennis. I know
Yeah.
you're going to find that kind of crazy.
Do you know
That's
Dennis
kinda
owes? Do you know
crazy.
Dennis owes the county $100,000,
I mean, hey,
and he won't pay it? Did you know that?
listen, I'm sure I owe somebody
Do you know
$10.
him and his wife Janet owe the county $100,000
No,
and they hadn't paid
no.
it? That's a serious thing.
Janet owes the county?
It's when you're married, it's considered jointly.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's listen.
Is it really?
I'm going through
You're
a
going
divorce.
through that?
Everything I have is jointly.
Well, I'm going to tell you, when I heard about the sign thing, that's throwing of the sign, I don't know if you've been watching the Lance Will Furry thing. Will has been just as cool and calm and collected. He's running for Flagler County School Board. And I got to give a shout out and say, vote Christy, Will, and Jill. Vote Christy, Will, and Jill. And Lance has been, his followers have been like slamming him. I mean, literally, it's been so nasty.
it's the
and now
MO
they
of
got
what
your
they-
sign. Why
Yeah.
you get involved?
I don't know. I guess because I just, I won't get in the middle of all that. But that's my big thing. You said it right. And Ed, you're one of this. When I ran the first time, there was all this drama and all this stuff. Said it really wasn't anything different than it is today. I was doing all this bad stuff, but I won the election because I focused on Flagler. I focused on policy. I promised I was going to get in the office and I was going to be transparent. I never told them I was going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. Matter of fact, there's only been one perfect person here. And who is that? Pastor Jay.
That was Jesus Christ.
All right. And what did they do to Jesus?
Oh, they crucified him.
And I don't want to be perfect then. Ed, do you want to be perfect?
No, I'm not
I don't want to
Listen,
be the
that's
next
one
your
that gets
story. I
crucified.
strive to be perfect.
I
Look,
try to be perfect, but I know every day I'm gonna fail.
You got to just
And-
try
Well,
to do
you
the
know,
best
I'm
you can.
sinless. Look, I always tell people I'm not sinless. I just sin less.
Yeah. It's so my point is I focused on policy. I
Right.
focused on bringing jobs to the community, which we've done. Bringing money to fix our infrastructure and make smart growth occur, which we've done. We're turning around bringing $20 million of federal and state money, not raising taxes. I promise we keep taxes low. We've kept them done. We've not raised them, and we went through COVID. I also promised that I would make public safety a primary thing. We have an opioid crisis in our county. We're one of the number one overdose deaths in the state. That means we don't have the services. I'm 10 years in recovery. I know why people overdose. I know why they do drugs. I did them.
Well, people talk about what they're going to do. And Commissioner, you have an opportunity to talk about what you have done. And you've made an impact on Flagler County, not just in your area, but all of Flagler County. And you've raised the bar of interaction with constituent. You have raised the bar of what local politics can do. Not just here to be effective here, but also to be a model throughout the nation. You back and
But
forth
that's
in
what
DC.
all of them should
Yeah.
be doing. And on these national committees, I go up there and they talk about, well, let's just make it look like this, but we're really going to do that. And I blow my stack when they do that. I go, we don't lie to people. We don't lie to the public. I am taught, and they go, well, it's not really a lie. And I go, guys, I'm in recovery.
Oh, don't get me
I
started.
know what a lie is.
Look,
I've
don't
had
get
to
me
learn.
don't get me started on the lies.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Because there's a lot of it going on.
So
and
school boards, I'm glad you brought that up. In Duval, in Flagler, St. John's. St. John's has the #1 school district in the country and in the state. We have some great people there, but if we don't maintain a strong school board like Governor DeSantis
I'm
is
telling
pushing,
you right
we're in
now,
trouble.
Christy, Will, and Jill. Christy, Will, and Jill. You want to ask me why I say Christy,
So
Will,
who's
and Jill?
let's say Christy is
Christy.
who, and what is she running for?
Christy, Will, and Jill. All three running for school board.
Oh yeah, but
Christy.
Christy who?
Christy Chong,
Christy Chong is running for what school board?
Flagler County Schools.
Because remember, this airs all over in
Oh,
three different
yes.
many
I'm sorry,
counties.
Flagler County Schools. That's right. So
Okay.
if you're in Flagler County, you need to vote for Christy, Will, and Jill. Christy, Will, and Jill.
So Christy
Christy's-
Chong,
She's running she's running
Will
Furry.
and Jill
Woolbright,
Woolbright.
yes.
The reason I say get the names because a lot of people see the last name. They
Oh,
don't see
good.
the first name. So you're saying Christy, Will, and Jill.
Yes.
But let's say their last name. So it's Christy
Christy Chong.
Chong. She's running for District 4.
It's District 4.
Right.
District
Yes.
4.
Yes.
Will
Furry. Yep.
is running for District
I don't know.
Is that two?
Two.
That's
two.
It's two.
And then Jill Woolbright is an incumbent running, and Jill's done a
Wait,
phenomenal
hold
job.
on. Let's talk about it. Because a reason why I don't mention districts is because people think they only can vote in their district. So I've trained my brain
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
turn
that's
it
something
off.
that we need to address.
Yeah, that's something I
because-
always turn off. So
Yeah.
you ask me what it's on their sign, but I turn myself off because people think they can only vote in that district.
I tell everyone I represent every district.
Right.
And
I don't
every
even know
district
why
can
they
vote
do
for
that.
me.
So
It's the
that's
same
something-
thing with
yeah.
the Flagler,
Same
with the
thing.
So
commissioners.
they'll go, oh, I can't vote for that because I'm not in that district. Most people don't even know what district they're running, but there are certain races that everybody can vote in, and school board just happens to be one of those races. It doesn't matter if they're in your district or not. So I want to make that very clear because people are forgetting that. They've got to vote. But you got to vote for Christy Chong, Will Furry, and Joe Woolbright. Now, I want you to ask me why.
Why?
Why on which one?
Why on all of them?
Because
Let's give a 1 minute on each one.
they're all three, and I can sum them up. All three are the most conservative. They believe in safety for our students. They absolutely believe, and it's the year of the parent. They're following
I've
Governor
got
DeSantis.
kids.
They're
I've got
following
kids.
Governor DeSantis
I've
and
got
his
kids in
mandates with the
school
no
here.
mask and all these
Yeah.
other things. CRT out of school, and they are so concerned about the students, and they're concerned about the parents. There are reasons why. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not voting for
Now,
the other ones.
Volusia County.
I'm gonna tell you.
Volusia
Let
County
me tell
has
you
a good
why I'm
one,
not
too.
voting for the other ones.
Volusia County has a
Jesse
really good,
Thompson.
Jesse Thompson is a phenomenal
Yes.
candidate, and she's
She's
in Volusia.
conservative.
I highly recommend her. She is a great, great candidate, and she reminds me of these group. I've had them all on my show.
Always.
And she has been a phenomenal fighter for parents' voice. I'm a parent, and I have kids in
Yes.
school. I've got a 7-year-old that's actually just starting. I want to make sure that they're safe. I want to
Yep.
make sure that what they're learning doesn't conflict
Reading,
with
writing,
what
and
I teach them
arithmetic, no
Sundays.
indoctrination.
Right.
These three
keep
against
the
it.
filth out of the schools.
Keep the filth out
I
of the
mean,
school.
You know,
All right, so we currently have a guy that's on school board that's running against Christie. I'm not going. He can remain nameless. He voted to put transgender in one of the policies here at Flagler School. He's got to go.
Yeah,
He's gotta go.
That's
So that's
Christy
why-
Chong's competitor. And
Well, he's not a
I can't-
competitor. He just needs to go.
He's a
And I
life,
like him.
Well,
He's a nice
lifelong.
guy.
He's a lifelong
But
candidate
he votes
as well.
with,
He's
he
been
votes with liberals half the time, so I consider him half a vote. Doesn't matter. He have an R by his name, so he's got to go.
now. I want to say this with the R by the name, and I want to be very clear
Mm-hmm.
to people. People, wake up and be smart.
Yes.
This is what's happening. The Democrats, they know they'll cheat on an election. They know that they have, and this is not all Democrats, this is the far left. They have turned around in Flagler County and said, if you want to get rid of Joe Mullins, it's a Republican county, flip over to be a Republican, vote against him, and then flip back and be a Democrat, and then vote for against
Right.
our governor. So that's what
That's
they're
why you
telling
have to-
people.
plus-
That's not election
Plus,
integrity.
also, all this guy with the R by his name, he has said he don't care what's in
Well,
the books.
here's what
I
another
don't
one
care what's
said.
in the books. Kids
Well-
can read anything. He's quoted on that.
Here's what another one said. Another liberal, far left liberal. I'm going to run as a Republican because I know you can't get elected as a Democrat or an
Oh,
independent.
we have that going on.
So
I've been seeing stuff,
pay
people trying to tell
attention.
people to flip
Don't pay
against you.
attention to what's by their
Yep.
name. Pay attention to what their policy is and what
And
they
what
say
they're
and
doing.
if they stand for you. I had Democrats come up to me last night and say, I'm not a Republican. And I wish you wouldn't say you're a Republican because I believe in everything you're saying. I believe in low taxes. I believe in public safety. I believe in getting our infrastructure straight. And I believe in high paying jobs.
Right.
But I am not a Republican. And I looked at him and I said, that is my agenda. If you want to vote for me, vote for me. But don't ask me to pretend I'm not a son of God. Don't ask me to pretend I'm
Right.
okay with murder and abortion. Don't ask me if I want to turn my guns in, and we'll be okay. But the minute you start telling me I have to do something, I got a problem because I
Which
don't
is
want
why I'm
government
voting
telling
for
us what
Will
to do.
Furry over the other guy, other than the
Right.
fact that he took your sign and threw it away. Now, I don't have anything against Lance. I really and truly don't. But he has used his position as an elder in the church as part of his platform. He just did this ad the other day, church elder, church this, I'm an elder in the church, blah, 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 blah. Well, someone brought it to my attention, and He's an elder in the most liberal church that we have around here. And I'm not just saying this. You go on their website and it says that they're with TP USA, the Presbyterian Church or whatever that believe. If you go on their website, if you go on the Presbyterian website, they don't even know when life starts. Life starts at conception. I don't know what kind of Bible they're reading. And also they're supporting all the LGBTQ agendas and all this. But get this, when you are a member of a church, you don't agree with everything your pastor says, right? Nobody agrees with that. But when you are in leadership of a church, you have to subscribe to the mission of the church. So people need to look. That's why I'm not voting for Lance Ulrich, because he has used his position as a church elder as part of his platform for school board, and it supports the LGBTQ agenda. They don't even know when life begins, and he is an elder in the church. And the other guy that's running against Christy Shaw, guess what? He's a member of the same church.
Of course.
Let me ask you something.
So why don't bring your church into it? People say, oh, this ain't got nothing to do with my church. It does. And if I'm telling you, I will send it to you. I will post it. I'm telling you the truth, nothing but the truth. If you don't like it, take it up with him. He has yet to denounce
Pastor
these things.
Jay, tell me how you really feel.
He has yet to denounce, and he say it's a lie. I don't believe that. Well, then post it, then say it, because he is an elder in the church that agrees with gay pastors, gay this, gay that. And look, I don't have a problem with people being gay. I have a problem with people indoctrinating that. They don't have a problem with transgender students. How I know? It's in their mission. I read their mission, and all this is against our great Governor DeSantis. Vote Will Furry for Flagler County Schools. That's how I believe.
All right, so, we got a few other races, and I'm using Flagler as a model because we love being the model county. But Duval, St. John's, Seminole, Volusia, Clay County, Baker County, Putnam County, Orange County, all of you deal with the same things. And we'll have some of the candidates on and we'll talk. But one of the most important things is I say, do not pay attention to what's by their name. Republican, Democrat, find out, talk to them. Go to organizations like EDS and hear them talk, hear them speak. I have no problem going to a Democrat organization and saying what I believe in, because that's what I do. Now, let's go for example.
This isn't Democrat or Republican anymore.
We're talking about dirty politics. Let's go for example. So we've got Congress race for Flagler County. We got Mike Waltz, and we got another guy running against him. Mike Waltz has done a phenomenal job. He's the incumbent. He's got a lot of money to Flagler County, so I like Mike. I don't know the other guy.
I met the guy recently who's running against him. He's a nice guy.
He's a good guy, but we've got a guy up there, military guy. So he's brought me $50 million for the beach. So how do you say? And then $3 million. So Mike Waltz is a great guy. You got Paul Renner. Paul Renner is our Speaker of the House.
Don't get me started on Paul.
He
is an amazing guy.
All I can tell
adore
you,
him.
to have the governor and the Speaker of the House come from our area, our region,
it's so
we're the
vital,
most powerful
and
county.
A lot of people, they don't like Paul.
us.
You don't agree with everything everyone does, except, of course, if it's me.
I bet Paul drives better than me.
Well, ain't no doubt about that. Look, a turtle drives better than you, Joe. I mean, I don't even know why he goes. But he's an amazing guy. I adore him, but he has such a heart of gold, and that's where it stands with me.
He is. Then you got Travis Hudson. Paul and Travis together have brought a lot of money back for our region.
They have.
So I've got to say, I cannot argue
Travis did a bunch of stuff with the schools.
Travis Hudson's a phenomenal guy. He's a great senator. I like him. And like I said, if somebody ran
on some things,
he and I have too, and so has Paul Renner. But here's my thing: if somebody was running against any of these guys that was better, or they were doing something wrong, I'd be the first to call them out. You know, I call people out. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem calling another Republican out. And Ed, you've got some city council ones. Tell us about the city council ones real quick.
Well, we do have some candidates for city council.
We got to go quick because we're running out of time.
No, I'm supporting Alan Lowe. He's a member of our Trump Club, so we're going to be endorsing him. By the time this airs, we would have done it. We're going to be endorsing you.
Well, thank you.
So by the time
you make me want to endorse some people.
Well, you should endorse some people. You can endorse me. You got Alan Lowe, and Alan is vital.
All right. And then you've got another city council race.
Right. Kathy Hyder
and
Fernando
Melendez. Yeah. And I know Fernando. I like Fernando.
Yeah,
He's
and
a good
I like
guy.
Kathy, too.
So, Kathy's a good person, too.
She's a gold star mom.
Yes.
Talk to the candidates and find out. Yes. Because here's the thing. There are a lot of good ones out there, but talk to them and find out.
You can call me if you don't know. Because I've had personal interaction with a lot of these people.
Well, y'all are going to have another seat. No, his seat's already up. Y'all had had a guy walk out of the commission.
Well,
we
the
talked
city
about that on
council
Eddie
meeting.
Bertino, yes,
Yeah,
walked
we
out.
didn't talk about it. We
Yeah.
didn't talk about that.
And by the time
Your show.
He
we,
got tired and he
Yeah.
just got.
we don't know what Eddie's going to do right now, but by the time this show airs, he will either have resigned or he would have come back.
I can't believe somebody walks out that
it's
frustrated.
amazing.
I believe it.
You get
I've
You
been
guys are
frustrated many
cray-cray.
times,
I'd have
and
been
I
But you
just
don't
sit
walk
there-
out.
No, you don't walk
out.
out. I've had to take some beatings from people. You know, I had Denise Calderwood come up there the other day, and she was almost. I looked at her and said, "Are you drunk?" She was up here yelling and saying stuff. And
That's
I'm
an
like,
experience, Joe, that a lot of folks don't understand. When
I've
we do
had
public,
Denise on my show.
when we do public
a
comment,
couple of years ago.
when we do
Yeah.
public comment, we sit there and people walk up. You don't know what they're going to say, and you're just kind of hoping they're not going to go after you. But
Well,
if they do, you
Listen,
sit there
Yeah,
and you,
yeah.
I've witnessed
you know?
public comment, and I'd go, "Please don't say my name.
Yeah.
Please don't say my name."
Well, it's a situation where I'm not used to sitting back and letting somebody run over me, and I have to sit up there, and I only take it so much, and then the Joe comes out, and it's just I don't tolerate
We've seen that.
foolishness. So, but you know what?
You're human, though.
I'm an elected official. I'm not a punching bag.
And we're
And
human.
my family is off limits. And if somebody talks
And
about
we're
my
human.
family or
Yeah.
close friends, there's an ass whipping coming, and it's
We're-
not
we're
pretty.
human.
But not literally, but there's going to be some chewing out. I'm going to go at them. But you just don't do that. I'm from the South. You don't. We defend our friends and family. So at the end of the day. We have commission races as well. We've got my race, which, I'm the best candidate. I've done everything I want to do. I even think my opponents, when they get behind that voting booth and they go in to do it, they're going to look around and they're going to look from side to side and they're going to see Joe Mullins and they're going to see the other person and they're going to see the other person and they're going to go, I'm voting for Joe.
You know they
That's
are.
even my opponent.
You know
My
you know they're
opponents are
gonna
going to
do
be do
that.
it because they know we're delivering and I'm bringing transparency to it. You know what? Not everything in government's pretty. Not everything in my life is pretty. But I promise to be transparent, and we're going to be that way. And Ed, you've done the same thing
same
with
thing.
them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got county commission race. We've got mine. I highly recommend you vote for Joe Mullins. He's a great guy.
He's okay. He all right.
I know him personally, and I know he'll defend and fight for you. And guess what? He will reply to you. He will be on the phone with you.
He might
and
not
he
like.
will,
He
you may not like what I
he
say,
says, but he
you'll
will
reply. And you'll have communication with him like you've never had with any other government official. Then there's also the other race, District 2. You got Greg Hansen.
Okay.
You got Janet
Let's
McDonald.
drop the
and you
districts
got,
because I want everybody to remember
these are countywide.
that these are countywide.
And most,
you can vote countywide.
most places are that way. Now, Volusia's a little different, but
Right.
most places are that way. You've got countywide election, Greg Hansen and Denise Calderwood and Janet McDonald. It's an open race because no Democrat stood up and
That's
ran.
going to be an interesting race. Okay, so we've got Greg Hansen, Janet McDonald, and Denise Calderwood. I was going to put all three of them together and put a sign up that says, "With a real conservative, please stand."
Yeah. Well, I'll say this.
Greg
I'll
called
say
me
this.
when my daughter passed. I appreciate that.
Greg he called me to tell me he was very concerned, and he
yeah.
said, "Joe, do you know?" He goes, "You think it's all right if I call her?" I said, "Absolutely, Greg."
I really
said,
appreciated
"She's-"
that. I want to thank him for that.
And just to let everybody know, she went through a tragic event, but one thing that she is phenomenal at doing, if anybody goes through anything hard, when I lost my brother, I wouldn't be here today if it hadn't been for her.
Love
and the day
is
I
what
got
it does.
the truth of the matter, the day I got that speeding ticket, it was the day he died, and I was riding up the interstate, and my mind was just elsewhere, and it was a bad day. It was a bad day. But anyway, back to what I'm saying is it's very important. I like personally, if you want to hear, I like Greg Hansen because we have had our differences, but he supports the same principles. He just sometimes gets down rabbit holes that I don't like going down, but I do too. So, but it's hard to support any of the others when they're running around putting signs on your properties illegal. They're talking bad about you, or they're doing
Janet's not
stuff.
doing that.
But and I
can't
know
tie-
if Janet,
can't tie
Dennis
Janet and
McDonald
Dennis together.
manipulates her, and he is nut.
Well,
I agree with you, Joe.
He's a
And,
nut.
and the thing is,
2-1. You
2
have
to
to be
1.
quiet.
if by some slim chance she was to get elected, I think you should immediately introduce a motion on day one that she be required to go ask her husband to pay that $100,000 back. To flag her
The guy
down.
owes $100,000 for
Yeah.
false accusing stuff. Do you realize he wrote a letter just
listen,
recently
you're
about
talking
me?
about stuff that has nothing to do with Janet. I know Janet as a
It
conservative.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He tells her stuff and she follows along and does it.
I don't believe that.
I've seen it.
I've seen
I've
it.
seen
Really?
it myself.
Okay. All
I've seen
right.
it myself.
But
and
I have to call
I'm not
her
gonna
up.
lie.
I have to call her. I
I'm not
I
gonna
love.
lie. I like
I
Janet.
appreciate Greg
I like Janet, but
and his love and his support. I really and truly do.
yeah.
You know.
So you got those races. You've got
But
is there
y'all
any?
stop
You got the
dogging out
school board.
Janet.
We've got you got the school board
Right.
race. You've got and I'm just going to give you three that I really like.
Okay.
Will Fury. I
Yes.
love Will. He's great. He's very passionate. He's very conservative. Christy Chong,
He's
one
honest.
of the best I've seen out there running. And then you got Jill Woolbright, and Jill cares about these kids. I'm going to tell you, if I had my children, this is the way you ask yourself: would you leave your kids with them to babysit when you went out on a Friday night?
Ooh.
I would leave
Christy,
Jill,
Will, and Jill.
Christy, and Will with my kids. The
Me
others
too.
don't have a chance of being around them. I've heard them speak. I've watched them by their actions. I measure a person by their walk, not their talk.
That's
And
it.
their walk is what's going to show it. And just like I've proved to you and shown to you, I walk my talk. I've had people say, you know what? At least Joe, I don't like Joe and I don't like what he stands for, but at least I know what he stands for. He won't, the pride, he tells us he has nothing to do with it. He doesn't want anything to do with gay pride. And at least he tells us where other politicians will play both sides. And I just,
Well,
listen,
you know what they say,
the Bible's black and white.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Listen, I got two voices. I don't need two minds. I got two voices, one in my head and one, so I don't need two minds. But guys, I want to welcome you for here just this election season. Please be very serious about it. Get out there, find out your candidates, ask them. Don't listen to the media mess. We know that they're not on our side. Go to these forums, ask them the hard questions and see what they do to answer them. And then look at their life and if they've been backing that. But remember, they're not perfect. Well, none of us are perfect, except for Pastor Jay.
Yeah, she's perfect.
Only from
Live,
8
worship,
to
shop, and
8:05.
pray.
From 8 a.m. to 8:05, she's perfect because she
I
does
wish.
prayer.
No.
But after that, it's all downhill. Ed, we want to thank you for
Thank you,
joining
Joe.
and appreciate you guys being on here. And to all the Northeast region, get out there and enjoy this beautiful weekend and enjoy the day and make sure you vote. Let's keep this county, these counties in this region, the greatest region and greatest state in the world. Florida is unbelievable. Let's keep it that way. Have a great weekend. All right.
All right, guys.